I feel like we really need to address this issue. The fact that deadlifts are dangerous for your lower back is not a fact, it's a misunderstanding. Deadlifts don't hurt your lower back. Poor form, ego lifting, and lack of foundational strength do. If done correctly, it's a great exercise to strengthen your spinal erectors and the entire body. Let me explain. Yes, it's true that people have injured their lower backs while doing deadlift, but it has nothing to do with the exercise and more to do with the lifter. First of all, your body is built for this movement. Picking something up from the ground is not unnatural or inherently risky. In fact, your spine is designed to handle load, especially when supported by proper technique. Avoiding deadlifts because they might hurt your back is like avoiding walking because you might trip. I swear to God, some people tend to get really small-minded whenever they see the words deadlift and lower back in one sentence. The muscles that protect your lower back are just like any other muscles in a sense that they need to be trained. If you never load your spine, you never build strength. The issue is proper loading and the fact that the mechanics are not actually understood very well. When people attempt to deadlift without understanding how to hinge at the hips, they are setting up to fail. Instead, they round their spine with heavy weight on the bar. Yeah, no wonder it's risky. Another thing is lacking mobility in your hips, which is the reason why you can't execute it properly. As a side note, rounding your back is what a lot of people need to do with small and proper weight. After all, the Jefferson curls exist, and the point of this exercise is to round your spine in order to strengthen it and make it more flexible. At first, do it with no weight at all, and then consider adding some. However, injuries tend to happen further down the road. Overloading any exercise will cause problems, but it's especially true for the deadlifts. See, out of all the lifts, the deadlift is the one with the most raw weight potential, and that makes it a prime target for ego lifting. People are chasing numbers, so it's not the weight that injures you, but your ego. However, when you're training on an elite level, it's a completely different story. You have to go hard, and sometimes, despite your best efforts, injury is unavoidable. But an average guy who goes to the gym consistently can safely get to like 405 pounds or even higher. And it's not even the point of the video. If you just want to strengthen your lower back, pick up an empty bar. Start safely by learning the proper technique with the amount of weight that's most definitely safe, and you'll be fine. Some people don't even need the bar. The problem is that you've convinced yourself that anything below 2 plates is not effective and it's not a deadlift. Like WTF. Another reason why the deadlift gets a bad reputation is because it's very easy to blame it. After all day of sitting, which many people do, bad posture, which many people have, and a mediocre warm-up, which many people skip, you have a short and intense training session, if you're lifting heavy. It's like you're trying to fix everything with a few sets of deadlift, which obviously doesn't work out. Sitting keeps your hips in a flex position for hours. This shortens the hip flexors and makes it harder to hinge properly. When you try to deadlift, instead of pushing the hips back like you should, you may round your spine, because it's impossible to do otherwise. Your hips and hamstrings aren't flexible enough for that. Sure, it may not be very obvious at the start, but at the most important time, during your heaviest lift, it may backfire. So the one lift that actually tried to build strength gets all the blame. The solution is to have a good warm-up, start slow and easy, and be mindful of your technique. This ties up to ego lifting. Your form may be good at the start, but on the last few reps, you really want to hit that PR, and it's not very easy to pick up on the fact that you've lost your form. One such intense moment won't do you any harm, but over time, this may backfire. On top of that, the deadlift is very honest. You can't rely on momentum because you are starting with a concentric phase. If you don't respect the weight and you lift too heavy too soon, it punishes you instantly. And because many try to do it with poor form, injuries happen. Not because the deadlift is a bad exercise, but because it exposes weakness and silliness, which is to be expected from people who comment things like deadlift is bad for lower back. Now, the classic deadlift is the best for overall strength, and the Romanian deadlift puts more focus on glutes and hamstrings. However, in both of those variations, there is no spinal movement, just stability. In this case, the lower back, especially the spinal erectors, work isometrically to keep your spine in a neutral position. The Jefferson curl, on the other hand, has a slow and controlled spinal flexion. This is great for lower back mobility and increasing tissue tolerance. As I said earlier, start with no weight and progress carefully. Overall, the deadlift is a full body movement, and no other lower back exercise trains the entire system like the deadlift or its variations. And it trains stability. And it can be progressively overloaded. And it will teach you how to lift safely. Many rehab professionals actually use deadlifts as part of lower back rehab protocols because they build strength and stability. There's even research showing that well-executed deadlifts reduce chronic low back pain over time, and it's backed up scientifically. To summarize, deadlifts aren't dangerous, ignorance is. Respect the lift, learn it properly, progress intelligently, and you will unlock one of the most powerful tools for lower back strength and longevity. That's it for today, guys. If you want to learn calisthenic skills like front lever, DM me on Instagram. I offer personalized training plans that will guarantee results if you stick to them. Keep training hard, and I'll see you in the next one.